Question 29. 1/3 of x minus k equals kx. In the given equation, k is a constant. If the equation has no solution, what's the value of k? Well, there's a number of questions that will ask about no solution. And so the question is, when does something have no solution? And always remember, something has no solution when you solve for x and the denominator you get is 0. Because when the denominator is 0, x is undefined, which means there's no solution. So we need to solve for x in this equation and see what our denominator is. So in order to get this x out of this parenthetical, I would first distribute the 1/3. So we get 1/3 x minus 1/3 k equals kx. And the next step isn't necessary, but I find it makes things a little easier. Don't really love dealing with these 1/3 fractions. So you could just multiply both sides by 3 and you'll get rid of the 1/3. So 1/3 x times 3, you get x minus k equals 3kx. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. You can multiply both sides by 3. So now if I want to solve for x, I need to get the x terms all on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract the 3kx from both sides. And this k I want to get on the right side. So I'll add k to both sides. But now my x term is still not isolated. So this is a little tricky part. And always remember you're factoring. I can factor out an x. And I would get 1, x divided by x is 1, minus 3k equals k. And you can check that you factored right. You can always just distribute and see that it works. X times 1 is x, minus 3k times x minus 3kx. So now x is totally isolated, and I can solve for x by dividing both sides by 1 minus 3k. So x would be undefined when this denominator equals 0. So all I have to do now is set 1 minus 3k to 0 and then solve for k. So I will subtract 1 from both sides. Negative 3k equals negative 1. I can just divide both sides by a negative. So I get 3k is 1. Divide both sides by 3. And k is 1/3.